What's up, people? Welcome back to Cricfootz. We are back again and back again with another game week preview or review, you can say. The Barclays Premier League is up and running. It has been some great football we have watched already. And today, me and Harsh are gonna dissect game week 2, which we have seen, and lots of interesting results. I think it was a good game week overall, and there were some real solid performances, especially from the top teams, I would say. Before anything, Harsh, welcome to today's episode, and I think you have one eye on the UCL draw, which is happening simultaneously as
Exactly.
we're doing this video. But yeah, before
Yep.
anything, how are you doing?
Doing good, mate. Doing good. As you said, lots of football coming thick and fast now.
Yeah.
So pretty much weekends are involved in watching as many matches as possible.
Yeah, Ian Sai always used to joke about this thing that if you are a football fan, most of your life is always busy, you know,
Yeah.
and you always have something to look forward to, and that is the
Yeah.
beauty of the sport, that it is relentless, and there is something or the other game always on TV. So yeah, the UCL draw, the UEL draw, these are two things which I don't have any participation in this season. But yeah, it was a great win last night, to be honest, playing in the second round in the Carabao Cup. So I'm
A win is a
smiling,
win.
yes. Sorry?
A win is a win.
A win is a win, and what a smashing win that was. But yeah, uh, I'm smiling because Arsenal won yesterday, but it was a pathetic performance in the weekend. And that was
Uh,
the match of the week, I would say. I don't know how seriously people take Arsenal versus Chelsea as a big game these days, but yeah, it was still on paper, on the fixture list, it was a big game. Dominated. I think Arsenal made a good start. That was the only positive I can draw out of the game. And with the fans coming back, I thought that would actually help them go on to at least get a result. I think the best result for Arsenal on the day was a draw.
right.
But after the first goal, it was all Chelsea. What did you think about of the game?
Yeah. I mean, looking at the lineups itself,
Yeah,
the signs looked ominous, and you could bank a Chelsea win, and that's what they delivered. Arsenal did surprise in that sense. They, looking at the squad or the team that they had, disappointing nevertheless. They didn't really have a chance in the entire game where they could stamp their authority. Chelsea
yeah.
had the game by the scruff of the neck. They scored 2 goals in the first half, and after that, it was smooth sailing for Chelsea. So it was as routine a two win as you can get, especially in a big team clash. So pretty straightforward win for Chelsea, which must have been the most disappointing thing for Arsenal fans, that not enough fight was shown.
Absolutely. There are many fans from the Arsenal perspective saying that Arsenal were better compared to Brentford. I really didn't think so. I think that Chelsea allowed Arsenal to have the possession in the second half, and they knew what they were doing. They did not want to score more than 2 goals. They could have gone to the second gear, not second gear. I would say third and fourth gear,
Right.
and try to kill off the game 4-0 and all that stuff. But they didn't do that. They are mature enough. I don't think even with the possession and the better second half, as everyone is saying, Arsenal had any chance to even salvage a draw there. Obviously, Rob Holding did have a chance in the second half that should have gone in.
Right.
Really, really desperate effort there. But overall, it was a it was a nice, easy day at the office for Chelsea, and I think we are looking at a great encounter next week against Hulot. I think that would be a great game. Two
Yeah.
strong teams playing against each other. But yeah,
Yeah.
overall, it was all Chelsea in that game.
I think now
Uh,
with
yeah,
Arsenal's next game also, it looks like almost like the first three games are a write-off, and your essentially your season or Arsenal season start after the international break, because I think you have City coming up next. So
yeah,
it's
and
it's
and
like
the and with the links coming up, you don't know what's gonna happen with Ronaldo joining City. You never know what will happen in the league now. So it's been crazy.
Yeah,
It's been a crazy transfer window this season. Never did we think that we would see Messi and Ronaldo even talking about leaving their existing teams and joining someone else. So it's been crazy. But yeah, I think we have spoken about Arsenal versus Chelsea. Let's move on to the other games. I think we'll talk about the champions, Manchester City.
sure.
Uh, they they had a field day on the pitch against Norwich. What did you think about
Yeah.
their game?
More or less, you can say, looking at their history of tanking Norwich, it was a routine 5-0 win. So, not even surprised a bit there. Even if they had no typical, the Aguero finishes, you still have a team that is built up of really, really good players. So, including the bench. So, the quality is bound to show. And with a team like Norwich, which is not a typical team which will sit back, they'll try to play their football through the progressive coach that is Daniel Farke. So they will leave gaps open, and City is as good a team as there is in the world to pick open those gaps and score 4, 5, or 6 goals against you. So maybe that would have given City confidence definitely after their first game week, the loss against Tottenham. So they needed to bounce back and put out a statement. Even though it was against Norwich, I think teams that might have thought that City may not be as great this season might have to rethink their strategies a bit.
Yeah, yeah. Any hopes for Norwich this season? Do you see them keeping up at the end of the season?
I think they'll give it a tough fight. I mean, I don't think they're a team that's going to not win any game or will be at the bottom of the table with 10 points, 15 points. I think they'll really give it a go. I think they'll take a couple more games to get their squad right. Even their squad was battling COVID in the month of July, so it's one of those situations. So I think the kind of football that they play, they might just get some really crucial wins, especially against teams that are competing for relegation. So things to come from Norwich. I think by October or November they might just pick up a few wins here and there and climb a little further up the table.
Absolutely. And to be honest, yes, as Harsh mentioned, that it was kind of a very comfortable day at the office for Manchester City. And
Right.
you can actually say that the highlight of the game was Jack Grealish's first goal, debut goal at home. A very scrappy goal, I would say. Not
Yeah.
one of the goals which we see him scoring for Aston Villa. But
Right.
yeah, overall, yeah. I mean, I think Pep absolutely warmed his team up against Norwich to play
Right.
Arsenal. I think they are gonna smash us too in a similar fashion. But yeah, apart from that, let's move on to your team. Again, Liverpool looking really good this season. 2 wins out of two. Many say that Burnley are a tough team to beat, but they are not looking the team which we have been seeing throughout the seasons. But yeah, expansive football. I think your Liverpool team had all bases covered in this game.
I think more or less. I think Norwich was, being the first game of the season. Norwich tried to play on open style, so there were gaps Liverpool could exploit. Burnley game tougher. Burnley had a couple of really good chances, and especially in the initial 15-20 minutes, gave it a real good go. But after a certain amount of time, Liverpool got into their groove and were creating chance after chance and were able to convert a couple of them. So, not going too overboard that we beat Norwich and Burnley, but it's
Yeah.
almost like the perfect start you could ask for in terms of the fixtures. And the proof will be in the pudding next week. When next week I'm saying it's in the next 2 days, Saturday night game. So Liverpool meeting Chelsea, so that will tell us which two squads are more ready at this point of the season, and who takes the plaudits. What do you think? I mean, are Liverpool going under the radar in terms of title contenders?
I see. I consider Liverpool to be title contenders. with City and Chelsea, and it is no disrespect with the lack of transfer activity. I think they have a very solid squad. Shimikas, like that guy, replacing. I think Robertson will come back. He has signed a new
He will.
contract,
Yeah.
but great assist from him. I think he played well, and
Right.
even the second goal. I think your wing play is so good, and overall, if your defense, if you just see that with Virgil van Dijk there, and if your midfield clicks, are you guys looking to replace Wijnaldum, or your transfer market is almost sealed and done?
I think if at all any player comes, is going to come in the forward line. From whatever I've been reading and I've been watching, yeah, Wijnaldum and Shaqiri, both who have now left the club, they are being effectively replaced by Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott. So Klopp has decided to give the two youngsters a big go and a big, to be a big part of the team. So midfielders are not going to be looked after unless a crazy good player is available. It's going to be more in the forward line. There are noises that Origi might leave. So if that is the case,
Okay.
a forward would be needed. So if at all there is any signing, additional signing, it would be on the forward line. And I think you mentioned that there, Liverpool do have a really solid squad. I agree, but for them to be title challengers, the key players shouldn't get injured. Whereas that's not the case with a City
Yeah.
or Chelsea, who have far
The
deeper
depth.
squads.
Yeah.
Where if even if one or two key players get injuries, there is adequate backup. So for Liverpool to be title contenders, which they were in 2019 and 2020, you would have noticed that key injuries to key players were very, very less. So I think that's the asterisk or the sticking point if Liverpool are going to be title contenders.
Yeah, but again, you can never count them out. I think they are a solid team with a solid manager. I will surely give them all the plaudits there in terms of their building, and also they do have a chance this season. We cannot count them out at all. As I said, it's gonna be an entertaining match between them and Chelsea this weekend. I think that's gonna be a great game. I am looking forward to that more than Arsenal City, to be honest. Uh, Moving on, Harsh. Let's talk about a team which were almost winning the title last week, and somehow I see their fans, uh, like the bubble has burst. The
Too soon.
hopes have gone down. Most fans saying that it is the manager that is not potent enough to lead a club like this. Let's be honest. Southampton versus Manchester United, which we saw last week,
Hmm.
Southampton were unlucky to not come out of that with all the 3 points. I think Adam Armstrong in the second half
Yeah,
should have
yeah,
buried at least one of those chances. What do you think?
yeah. I think all three results, I wouldn't have been surprised after watching that game. United could have won that, Southampton could have won that, and it ended in a draw finally. Uh, I take your point in terms of the bubble has burst, but United should really be winning these games.
Yeah,
For the last 3-4 seasons, I think that's been the thing in Ole's reign, that they've missed out on winning games that they should have won. Uh, and then it puts too much pressure on winning a maybe Man United, Man City game, or United facing Liverpool, where there is additional pressure on the players to win those sort of games, which I don't think that squad can take that pressure. They've not won a league or even a Champions League for a long time.
yeah.
So it was a similar thing that happened with Liverpool as well. For the longest time, you didn't win a major trophy, and you're going to keep falling at the final hurdle. So it depends on how strong they are mentally, and they need to come back with a win next weekend to show that. But beating Leeds 5-1 on the first day may have they may have started their party too early. So it was a bit of coming down back to planet Earth for many of the fans.
Absolutely. And to be very honest, as you said that uh, games like these need to be won, because the things which the Manchester United fans are expecting from Ole this season, uh,
Hmm.
if you put that into perspective, these are must win games, and hopefully hopefully, and hopefully not, I would say, as a rival fan, they can do that in the next game against Wolverhampton. Wolves surprisingly have lost both their games
Right.
uh, this season, so it's a good opportunity for Manchester United to come back, and Manchester United versus Ruben Neves. So that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Heavily linked with
Absolutely.
him all transfer window. I don't know if they will actually get a CDM, which their fans are crying out at the moment. But
Yep.
Ruben Neves has been really highly linked with them.
Yeah.
Uh, Moving on, let's go to another top team. We would consider Tottenham.
Hmm.
They have won 2 out of 2. Yes, they had a bit of a setback in the Conference League
Yep.
against, I don't even know whom did they play, but yes, they won against Wolves again. Adama Traore. I mean, what is this guy doing again? A one-on-one. He missed it. Wolves could not get anything out of the game.
Yeah.
Are Wolves unlucky? You would say, or you can see them bouncing back and getting a result against Manchester United. What do you think?
I don't know. There's a bit of a topsy-turvy seesaw team at the moment. So to expect a result from this Wolves team, which is ideally they should have a new manager bounce, which we call that. But the spark is missing somewhere. So maybe it was Nuno Espirito Santo who had ignited a spark in that Wolves team, and the new manager is unable to do. But there's not. There've been chances where should have scored goals, but they've not been able to take that. So I don't know. I can't definitely say for sure that they'll take that against United. But for Wolves, I think it's better to face United than a Norwich right now. At least they can raise their game, or at least the motivation does not need to be put in that you're going to be facing Man United next week at home in front of your fans. So you better play well and get a result. So in that sense, it's a great matchup for Wolves. uh, Tottenham, what do you think as an Arsenal fan? How have they fared till now?
Um, yeah, they have been doing good, and to be honest, they have had the biggest news coming up for them with Harry Kane staying. I
Right,
think that would be really helpful for them, and I think that's one decision or one thing which puts them into the Europa League spots. They
right,
can actually battle for fifth now or sixth. And
right,
with Nuno is a great manager. Let's be honest, he has done some great work with Wolverhampton. He has built a very good tight squad there, and he obviously won against them this week. But it's a big news for Harry Kane, and I would like to see how Nuno uses him. Does
yep,
Harry Kane become a even better player under him? And I'll just briefly touch about Wolverhampton. Now, this is a team which I've always had time for. It's a great team. They have few injuries in their team right now. I
hmm,
think once those guys are back, like Pedro Neto, Daniel Podence, Willy Bolly, who we know is a great defender, I think once
right,
they are back, we can judge Wolverhampton a bit better, I would say, because they have been a great team and they always have the capability of causing upsets, especially against the big
right.
ones. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting with Wolverhampton too. Let's move on. If we talk about the other results, we have covered Liverpool, Manchester City. Any other? Yeah. How can we
West Ham,
forget
Leicester.
Leicester? Oh, man, I think David Moyes and the team which he is going after, the players which he's going after, I would say,
Yeah.
um, that's great. I think Kurt Zuma is almost signing the
Yep.
contract
Yeah. Yeah.
with
Yeah.
them. Yeah, it's almost done. Yeah,
It's
and
almost
what a
done.
signing that is. I
Yeah.
think for both parties, I think Kurt Zuma is a good player. He solidifies the defense, and also looking very closely at Jesse Lingard, which we were discussing
Yep.
today.
Yep.
Ben Rama already signed as a permanent deal when he came on a loan from Brentford.
Right.
Ollie Watkins, Dannings, no, Dannings is Aston Villa. Sorry, those are Aston Villa players. I'm really sorry, but overall, looking at West Ham and even Antonio, who actually broke the record of their highest goal scorer. Uh,
Right.
do you see them doing last year's madness again, or it's gonna be more of a top 10 finish, which I think would be disappointing for their fans?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think they are replicating the form that they showed last season, at least in the first two games. And if they can start strong, They can even push the fourth and fifth position, because that also is a huge possibility. They remind me a sort of how Leicester used to have been pushing in the last couple of seasons, the fourth Champions League spot in the table. They're reminding me of that solidity. I feel Leicester has gone a bit down in terms of squad quality and in terms of general style of play, but West Ham have effectively placed themselves as the challenger from apart from the top six. The team that can break into that this season. You mentioned all these players, but I think two which we have already discussed previously, you and I, is Thomas Suchek and Kufal.
Yeah.
Uh, they're household names now in the Premier League. Everyone knows about them. So they have a great team. I think uh, top half, top 10 should not be their aim. At least top six, fifth, sixth, seventh should be, I think, where they will finish. And I mean, I watched that game, a bit of it, and then I watched the highlights. Literally tore Leicester apart for a good amount of time. So yes, Leicester
Yeah.
had a red card. That's fine, understandable. But they ran rings around them with Antonio, Benrahma, Jared Bowen, Pablo Fornals, and Suchek pulling the strings in midfield. So Zuma is a great addition. Lingard will also be a good addition for the team. So they have a core English feel also, but with a smattering of flair players. So it's good squad building by David Moyes and this team. Leicester, on the other hand, you can touch up on this because you're interested in a couple of players. Your club was interested in Madison, so I don't know if that's turned their heads and they're not performing as well. But what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think Madison is no longer our interest. I think we are more going towards Hosim Or. That's the latest link which we have got, because obviously Madison will cost Arsenal a lot of money. I don't think we are ready to pay so much. And
Right.
he's a genuine talent. I don't think Leicester will give him to us cheap at all. So
Right.
yeah, but delighted with the way West Ham has performed. It's good that teams like Leicester are losing,
Mm.
because it gives us chances to somehow win few games and get above them. But yeah, I think David Moyes has finally got his club after getting sacked everywhere he went from Everton. So after Everton. So overall, I think that's a good project which he has got finally. He has got
Mm.
them kicking. There's a lot of bounce there. Even their defenders, Ogbonna is immense. Their left back Cresswell. I think that's a good solid team. I would say. Apart from these, Harsh, any other result which caught your eye? I see that Brentford are still unbeaten, one win and
Brentford
a
still
draw.
unbeaten, played out
That's
a
bad.
nil-nil draw at Crystal Palace. So Patrick Vieira still yet to get off the mark there. Crystal Palace will be a team to see. It'll be interesting to see how they fare. I think it'll either
Yeah,
be they'll do really well and probably try and come up the table, or I think they really bomb and be in the bottom three. They seem to be that kind of a team. Another match which was topsy turvy was Leeds against Everton.
yeah.
Uh, for a long time it was end to end stuff. Uh, Leeds, in their usual swashbuckling style, were stretching Everton. Uh, I think Everton might surprise a couple of people. I think Rafa Benitez brings a bit of stability to that squad. He has the tools to get the best out of that squad, and it'll be interesting to see where Everton ends up. But definitely, I think Everton ends up in the top half.
Oh, uh, I somehow don't see them ending in the top half this season. I think they have been good in few patches, but overall, I don't think they have the squad depth this time around. But yeah, no problems with Everton coming in the first half. But again, it's Arsenal whom I care about. We need to get some of those spots in there. Apart from that, the comment which you made last week, Brighton looking for a surprise. You are hoping a lot from them this season. Two out of two wins in the top four. I think they are doing pretty good out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just about the results. I think in the last season they were one of stats wise, they are one of the unluckiest teams where they had great pressing, they had great possession, they had great chances, but because of shitty strikers, they failed to convert those chances. So at the end of the last season, that started really improving, where the chance conversion improved and they came safety from relegation, and they came into a 14-15 position. I see that improving. They've added some decent players to that squad. Bissouma is pulling the strings in
Oh,
midfield. Great player, fantastic player.
immense performance, I think.
He is the linchpin in that midfield, and some really interesting
That's
players Brighton has, including their newly signed goalkeeper. So I think
Sanchez, yeah.
they might surprise a few because they play really good football. So yeah, Brighton is someone. I won't say they'll be high in the top half. Even eighth, ninth is too much of a stretch. But somewhere between the 10th, 11th position is, I think, where they would be realistically looking at, and that will be quite an achievement for that Brighton team.
Absolutely. And I think there's one fixture which we can have a brief look at was Aston Villa beating Newcastle. Pretty
Goal of the week.
convincing win. And
Goal
what a
of the week.
goal! What a goal by Dannings. I think he's quality. I mean, he's
Yeah.
been a a genuine threat for all defenses in the league. He can score from anywhere. Some he can score all types of goals. He's good with the head,
Yep.
good with his right foot, and what a stunning overhead kick that was. Uh,
Yeah.
Surprisingly, was your player once upon a time, but yeah, yeah. I mean, things
Yeah, it
didn't
was
go out
sad.
well.
I mean, things didn't go out well, but I think he's proven for the longest time that if he can stay injury free and he plays
Yeah,
in week out, he's going to guarantee you goals. He's that kind of a striker because he's involved in the build up play. He's involved in the box. He'll be there at the end of the attacks to put the last touch into the goal. So he does everything decently well. So he's going to be there and thereabouts, and I think it's a great signing for Villa.
yeah.
Uh, he essentially guarantees you goals, 15 to 20 goals essentially. So, if you play him for the entire season and if he stays injury free. But Villa were missing a couple of key players also. So, Bailey didn't play. I think Buendia got less time. So, they're also figuring out their squad. I think it's a case of too many signings right now, and where the manager has to find out his best team or best squad. So Villa will also, take a look at October and see how they figure out what their best team is. But a great result nevertheless for Villa. It keeps them going in the table.
Absolutely. Really ambitious signing, I would say. I think the signing was out of the blue. We still remember that.
Yep.
It
Yep.
happened in one day and 25 million. What a signing that is, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
I think that's a brilliant signing. Yeah, so that covers all the fixtures from last week, guys. West Ham at the top of the table, obviously because of goal difference, but there are a lot of teams: Chelsea, Liverpool, Brighton, Tottenham. These teams have also not lost in the opening 2 weeks. Obviously, next week, the coming weekend, it's almost time. Saturday, we have some blockbuster fixtures there. Arsenal versus Manchester City kicking off game week 3. And obviously, on the same day, we have Liverpool versus Chelsea, which is a late night kickoff. So that's going to be a great Saturday for us. It has very much sorted the Saturday for all football fans. Any other fixture which you're looking forward to apart from these two?
Uh, I think apart from these two, the only things that can catch my eye is one is Brighton Everton. It'll be interesting to see how that game goes. And the other obviously being Wolves and United. Do Wolves bounce back and get a result, or Man United bounces back from that result at St Mary's and gives Wolves a thrashing. So that will be interesting. Otherwise, the other games look slightly more straightforward.
Absolutely. So, Harsh, I think that covers everything which
Yep,
we came out to discuss. But one thing which has happened today is obviously the UCL draw, and
absolutely.
you guys are into it. You guys are obviously in that. So
Right.
let's discuss it with you. Uh, what do you think? I think you have the tables there.
Yeah, I have it
You
in. I have it here. Yeah.
have it there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking at it at the first for the first time. If I see at Liverpool, okay, you have drawn with Porto, AC Milan, Atletico Madrid. What do you think about that?
I
That's
think it's a
interesting.
fantastic group.
Yeah,
I honestly, you live for these kind of fixtures. You don't want, three unknown teams in the group. Atletico
absolutely.
want to make things right. They beat us, a couple of years ago. Just when COVID broke out. So I'm sure the team would want revenge with Atletico. Porto is always a great fixture for Liverpool. They always thrash them. So that's great. And AC Milan, European royalty back again. Always great to play AC Milan. So I think it's great, and also from a COVID point of view, very less travel for the Liverpool team, just going to Spain, Portugal, and Italy. So I think that
Hmm.
that's also key in that sense. So there's some great fixtures apart from the Liverpool group. I'm not going to talk about Group C and Group G because they look really plain. Uh, but Group A, what are your thoughts on Group A, Shubham?
Yeah, I think that's the group of death. You can call it the group of death because there's Leipzig there.
Yeah.
Club Brugge obviously will go out. So Manchester City, PSG. Oh my God, like that's gonna be again. If Ronaldo goes to City, I think that's a blockbuster fixture right out there.
Yep.
So yeah, obviously, I mean, these two teams will be fighting out for the first and the second place. Group E has Bayern Munich and Barcelona, so you'll obviously expect them. I think Manchester
Yep.
United has got a really easy group, man. Like Villarreal, Atlanta, and Young Boys. Uh,
Yeah, on paper they have the easiest group from the big clubs, I
yeah,
feel.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Uh, but it's United. They've lost to Villarreal before, so there are some issues there. But I think they'll sail through that group. Uh, C and G are a mixed bag. Chelsea face Juventus, but I think a very heartwarming story for all those people who are watching. Group D, the fourth club in that group, that is Sheriff,
okay,
uh, a very small club from Moldova,
that's great.
and Moldova's first club to reach the Champions League group stage, and they're going to be playing at Inter Milan and Real Madrid. So
Wow, that's brilliant.
it's a great story, and most of their players are non-league players. Players who have just started playing at the age of 21, 22. So it's a great story. Please do read up on it. It's there
Sure.
all over the news. But I think that's a fantastic draw for them. Imagine Real Madrid and Inter Milan visiting your stadium and playing Champions League football.
Wow, wow. This is what football is all about. I think these small teams from lesser known countries or smaller countries, when they compete with the best of the best, I think that's what their generations look out for. So overall, I
Absolutely.
think it's going to be really interesting fixtures and games coming up. We have a comment there. Sam says, "Hope some faith has been restored in Arteta after demolition of West Brom." Yeah, we may come snatch point against City. I think he has somehow spoken the words which I think will happen. I somehow, after yesterday's performance and with the players back, obviously, with Lacazette back, Aubameyang back, Saka now into full fitness, Pepe scoring a goal yesterday, Odegaard with some nice, beautiful. I know he'll not start. I don't think he'll
Yeah.
start next week, but obviously it will be good to see if he comes off the bench. I think if we are physically strong and up for the game, I think we can do something with Manchester City. I think Manchester City has really not kicked off this season. Yeah, they had a great game against Norwich, but
Right.
against Tottenham, they really looked sticky. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne is available for the game, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's an early kickoff. Sam, I hope you're an Arsenal fan, so yeah, let's do it. Come on, you guys. Even a draw would be a great game going into the international break. Uh, so yeah, that's it. That's it, Harsh. I think we have covered most of the
Yep.
games. The UCL draw is the icing on the cake. We have got some great fixtures. Tired of reasoning out with Arteta non-believers. Absolutely, it's an interesting time to be an Arsenal fan. You can either be in the side of the coach, or you'd want him out. So, but yes, if he keeps on losing, any manager these days doesn't stick for too long. He's gonna get the sack. But hopefully things work out for him. Never had any problem with Arteta. I think he was a decent player for us, and hopefully he does well. But yes, he's on thin ice. Let's be honest. If he doesn't get the results required in the Premier League, he will soon see the back door. So yeah. So thanks, guys. Thank you for joining in. Uh,
Yep.
Thank you for supporting us on Instagram. I hope you're looking forward to all our content. We'll be regular with the reviews of the Premier League every week. And yeah, till then, please stay tuned for more content and keep supporting us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.